Hello, everyone, and welcome to the milestone 25th Miami Jewish Film Festival, the world's largest film festival of its kind. We want to thank all of our members, sponsors, community partners, all of you film lovers, and especially our presenting sponsors, the Center for the Advancement of Jewish Education and the Greater Miami Jewish Federation for their continued support throughout these years. My name is Nancy Zaretsky, and I'm the Inclusion Specialist with the Greater Miami Jewish Federation and the Miami Jewish Abilities Alliance. And we're fortunate today to be hosting a virtual conversation with Noah Kasherel, a marketer of cinema who brings Israeli films to the world, and Rada Hen, the filmmaker and one of the main characters of the film No Filter, which is premiering at this year's festival. Thank you all for joining us. So, ladies, I'm very pleased to have you here today. I want our viewers to just understand the format of our interview. We are going to be in English and in Hebrew. We are going to have Noah translate some of my questions and Rada answer as she can in English and Hebrew. So it's going to be a very lively, dynamic conversation. I want to thank you for sharing this story with us. And I want to begin with the impetus and the genesis of the film and the title. So Noah and Rada, can you share with me how you came upon the idea to make this film?
Okay. רדה, היא שואלת על ההתחלה של הסרט ומה גרם לך לעשות את הסרט.
זאת הייתה...
מה המקום של הסרט, כן.
זאת הייתה התחלה של קורונה וירוס, והיינו בבית, עדי נמצא בהוסטל, והתגעגענו אליו נורא. לכולנו עלו שאלות מהותיות בזמן שהיינו בסגר בבית, ועלתה לי שאלה, האם כל מה שהוא מסוגל להיות בחיים הבוגרים שלו, זה לשים כמה ברגים בשקית. האם אפשר לאתגר את הגורל ולבדוק האם הוא יכול לעשות משהו אחר?
Okay. The film started during the corona period, during one of the lockdowns. Adi was in a special hostel, and in fact, Rada, she hasn't seen him for 3 months. Can you imagine for a mom not to see her son for 3 months? And during this period, she began to think, okay, what will happen after the lockdown? Like, what will his future be like? Is everything that he could ever accomplish is to put screws inside the bag? Is this what the future holds for him? Mm-hmm. Or she thought maybe he can do something more inspiring, something that will inspire him and inspire us.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Rada.
It was a lot of time in home, and all of us asked the big questions about our life. And one question, my question, it was about my son, Adi. Adi is autistic guy, and he is not speak. About his future, about his professional future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for our viewer,
Corona, so it sparked a lot of existential questions. You can say that.
Yeah, I agree. So for our viewer, who may be a parent, for a child who has a typical developmental trajectory, we always say, the sky is the limit, right? Whatever your inclinations are, what your passions are, you put in hard work, you get the education, and you follow that dream, right? Presently in society, for people who have disabilities that impact their ability to communicate or to live independently, there is not that sky is the limit cultural thought, right? So when I hear you talk about your son and the sorting job, there's a bit of that in the film. So can you tell us how your heart felt when you saw that that was going to be, you know, the path that was chosen for him because of his disability?
רדה, בעצם איך את הרגשת שאת הבנת שמה שהחברה מייעדת לו, זה תפקידים קטנים, זה לשים את הברגים, כאילו, כי מדברת של ילדים אחרים, השנה עם הגבול. אבל פה החברה בעצם אומרת, לא, רגע, השנה הם לא הגבול. כאילו, תגביל את עצמך, תשים את הברגים. איך את הרגשת בתור אימא שבעצם שמגבילים את הילד?
אני כל השנים חיפשתי מה עוד הוא יכול לעשות. יש אוטיסטים מאוד מאוד מוכשרים, שהם שרים, מנגנים, מציירים, מה לעשות, אבל עדי שלי לא זה ולא וזה, לא זה ולא זה. אז שאלתי מה עוד, מה בכל זאת הוא יכול לעשות כדי לתרום לחברה ולא להיות נתרם. כי חברה מאוד מהר מייעדת אותם להיות נתרמים, לעשות משהו פשוט. הרגשתי נורא, הרגשתי קנאה להורים, ממש תשתמשי במילה קנאה, אפילו לאוטיסטים אחרים שהם מאוד מוכשרים.
אוקיי. רדה, תוכלי רק קצת להתרומם, כי רואים רק חלק מהפנים שלך עכשיו? מצוין, מצוין, תודה רבה. What Rada is saying is that she felt very envious about other families, other parents, because her son, I mean, he was limited. His future, his expectations were limited. And Rada will not say this about herself, but I know her, so I can say that. Rada is a fighter, okay? She does not accept things, you know, without a fight. She fought, she's still fighting for her son. Rada mentions that there are other autistic people, or on the spectrum, I should say, that either can sing, they can paint. However, Adi doesn't have these talents. But anyway, she really wanted so much for him, you know, being a Jewish mom and a mom in general, you know, she really, you know, we have
maybe two hands you push.
Yes, you know, she wanted only the best for her son. This is why she refused to accept it, that he will be, you know, just do an ordinary job because he can achieve and accomplish much more. So she was very envious, but she fought.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, your son has a really strong-hearted, determined mother who is going to push to get him the opportunities. So I applaud you on your ability to see your son in the light of the full expression of a human being, not by his limitations, but by the full expression of the beauty of a human being. So thank you. And you know, hats off to you 100% as a strong mother. And I also want to say that as filmmakers, thank you for bringing a presentation of a person on the spectrum that is not like the Big Bang Theory or The Good Doctor or Love on the Spectrum, right? So this is a much more nuanced expression, which leads me to a question about the title of the film, which is No Filter. Can you tell me how you came to the title of the film?
חיפשנו תוך כדי חיפוש מה מיוחד בו, מה מיוחד בו, כי יש דוגמנים עם גוף מושלם, עם פנים מושלמות, מה מיוחד בו, ותוך כדי מסע אנחנו מגלים שמה שמיוחד בעדי זה שהוא ללא מסיכות, הוא מלמד אותנו כבוד, אכפתיות ואנושיות. כולנו שמים מסיכות ופילטרים, והוא בעצם, זאת הייחודיות שלו.
כן, אוקיי, בסדר. ורדה, רק תתקוממי בבקשה, עוד פעם.
כן.
תודה. What Rada is saying is that one of differentiates Adi for the best is that the fact that he has no filters, meaning that he doesn't have a mask. You know, he's very honest, he's very genuine and sincere. He doesn't pretend, he doesn't say one thing, but actually mean another. So Rada says that this is something that we should all aspire to, you know, to be without filters, because we are so used to our cultural and social filters that sometimes we're not true to ourselves. It's not like, God forbid, hurting someone. This is not what Rada says. You know, she doesn't want people to start, you know, being, you know, overtly honest or hurting other people, God forbid, but just being honest, like with no filters and letting your true self shine. And this is, you know, a deep true self is what shines. And despite of all his disability, his true self shines.
Yes. Which leads me to something I want to ask you. So a documentary film, especially, you know, this is autobiographical, right? Very, very personal, very, very intimate. Can you tell me about the process within your family about deciding to make this film and to share some very challenging conversations, which I'm thankful you did. You share a conversation between you and who I assume is Adi's father. You share the challenge of going to the gym and being stood up. You know, can you talk to me about what it's like to really pull the curtain back and have such an intimate portrayal of a family going through challenges?
אוקיי, היא בעצם מדברת פה שאת היית מאוד כנה, ואת הצעת גם את אפשר להגיד, את היחסים, מערכת היחסים בתוך המשפחה, את הקונפליקטים בתוכו. זה באמת שאת, איך באמת בעלך מגיב, וגם היא מזכירה פה שהייתם בחדר כושר, שאותו אדם לא הגיע, כאילו, אז גם באמת היא מודה לך על הפתיחות, גם בתוך המשפחה וגם מחוצה לה. אני גם מבקשת שתרחיבי באמת איך היה לך לשתף את הפתיחות הזאת במה שקרה בתוך המשפחה.
זה לא היה קל, גם עבורי. זאת הייתה שאלה האם זה אפשרי, ונפתחתי לזה בשיא הכנות, לראות איך תגיב משפחה ואיך תגיב החברה, האם היא תעזור, האם היא תקשה עלינו, והאם אנחנו נגיע ליד, האם אנחנו נראה שזה אפשרי. אבל מה שהוביל אותי זה טובת העדי, לראות שאני לא פוגעת בו, ולפתוח לו דלתות. כל השאר, כמו כל אימא אחרת, זה להתמודד. זה להתמודד, להסתכל לאמת בעיניים, ולהמשיך לנוע קדימה.
כן. Rada says that she had challenges within the family. At first with Adi's father, as we can also see in the film, but it was resolved, as we can see, and the father became a supporter. And another front, if you can call that a front, it was also outside it, like this society. Yeah. So Rada had a few battles, and not only inside the family, but also outside it. Although the one inside the family, it was less than a battle. So let me rephrase that. It was a challenge. Outside, it was a battle. But she was always motivated by this best. She only wanted the best for him. It's like this is her biggest motivation. Mm-hmm. She wanted only the best for him. She wants him to be happy, to succeed, to fulfill himself. This is why she knocked on doors and she tried, you know, to help him as much as she could, because she believes in him. She believes in his potential and in his abilities, and she wanted to help him as much as possible.
not only for me, for all of us, for our society.
Yeah.
Not only for me or not only for my family.
Thank you for bringing that up, Rada, because when we get to the part of the film where you are in the city, I assume you're in Tel Aviv, and there is the film shoot on a very, very large digital screen, and you are asking people. For me, that part of the film is you are looking to have a frank conversation, like a straightforward conversation question, like, what do you think, to the average person on the street, and then to say, look, see, can you tell me about that scene in particular?
נועה?
היא שואלת ספציפית על הקטע בסוף, שבו באמת הוא מופיע על המסכים של עזריאלי, ואת עוצרת אנשים ברחוב ואת שואלת אותם, האם זה אפשרי שאוטיסט יהיה דוגמן? היא מבקשת שתרחיבי על הסצנה הזאת.
זה משהו שבא בספונטניות. פשוט אני כל כך התרגשתי לראות, וחשבתי מה באמת אנשים חושבים על זה. ובצורה הכי ספונטנית שאלתי, והתשובות לא היו חד משמעיות.
כלומר, את לא התכוונת לשאול ולדעת, זה לא היה בתכנון שלך?
כשבאתי לעזריאלי, לא. זה רעיון שבא תוך כדי, אחרי שראיתי אותו. החלום, את יודעת, שאת חולמת חלום, זה משהו אחד, אבל שאת רואה, וראיתי תגובה של עדי, שהוא ראה את עצמו, ומה שעולה לי באותו רגע, פשוט לעצור אנשים ברחוב, והתחיל לשאול אותם מה הם חושבים על זה.
Okay, so this is the beauty of documentary filmmaking, because Rada hasn't envisioned this scene in the beginning. She did go there with her son, with Adi, and they saw, the commercial on the Azrieli Tower. She was so moved. She was so excited. She was absolutely overwhelmed. So she just very spontaneously, she decided to share it with other people and to see how would they react. She did not plan this in advance. She did not plan that she will approach people on the street, but she was so overwhelmed that she, out of joy, she started to talk to people, and we see some of them actually supported her and said, yes, that he could definitely be a model, and some didn't. But I guess they symbolize society, because always in society you will have the naysayers,
right,
and we'll have the supporters. So it's a very beautiful scene, but it was something very spontaneous that Rada decided to do at the spur of the moment.
Yeah, for me, I can see your heart bursting with pride in that moment, and you want to share it. That you are, that here you are. And also, I think it refers back to the original impetus behind the movie, which is, of course, Adi has a dream, and as his mother, you're going to facilitate him getting to this dream. But I think also in that moment, we see that the dream is a conversation between the average person who may not have somebody with a disability in their life, and to challenge their assumptions about them. So for me, that scene really brings it all together. Can you talk to me about the conversations you may have had during the movie with people when you say, yes, my son is going to be a model, or when you get the modeling gig with the very famous Israeli model? Can you talk to me about and share with our viewer about what maybe like if you start the film with one idea, but then you evolve to another idea, and that I think is the conversation about challenging people's assumptions. Sorry, Noah, that's a lot to translate.
It's okay. מה שבעצם היא אומרת שאת פה מאוד מנסה גם לבוא ולאתגר את התפיסה של הקהל. לבוא ולהראות להם שכן, אכן שמישהו שהוא על הרצף אכן יכול להיות דוגמן. אז מצד אחד, האתגור הזה של הקהל, אבל מצד שני, היא גם רוצה באמת לבוא לשמוע, הם היו באמת שיחות, כמו למשל השיחות בחדר כושר, שאמרו לך כן או שאמרו לך לא, מה הייתה הדעה של החברה שאת באת ואת אמרת לה שאת רוצה שהוא יהיה דוגמן? היו כאלה שתמכו והיו כאלה שהיו נגד. האם את יכולה לבוא ולספר על השיחות, על הבעד ועל הנגד?
כן. היו לא מעט אנשים שתמכו, שחיברו ורצו לעזור, אבל גם מה שהכי פגע, אני חושבת, לא שפגע, זה דעה רווחת, שאם כבר לעשות ממנו דוגמן, אז להראות שכאילו הוא יכול להיות דוגמן, כאילו הוא אוהב ספורט. מה שהכי הרבה בחדר כושר, מאחורי הקלעים, מה ששמעתי בקול של אותו בן אדם, שהוא חשב לעצמו שאנחנו לוקחים אותו להראות שגם הוא אוהב ספורט, להראות שהוא גם מתאמן, ולרגע לא חשב שהמטרה היא באמת לייצג את חדר כושר, כמו כל אחד דוגמן רגיל, לא כמו.
רגע, לא. עוד פעם שהוא לא חשב שזה, הוא חשב שהוא לא אדם רגיל שמייצג את חדר כושר?
לא, הוא אמר, בואי, מה הבעיה? אנחנו רצית בסך הכל להראות שגם הוא מסוגל להתאמן, גם הוא אוהב להתאמן, אבל להגיע למחשבה שהוא יכול לייצג, להיות פרזנטור?
הבנתי, אוקיי. Rada says that, for example, with the gym owner, at first, what he thought is that he wanted to show that a kid on the spectrum can work out and that he loves sports. But what Rada actually envisioned, she wanted Adit to be a presenter, to be a model for the gym. And the gym owner, he didn't see it that way. He thought, no, I will just show that also people on the spectrum, they can also exercise. But he didn't wish for Adit like to represent him, like to be the presenter.
Right.
Yes, but Rada says that throughout the journey, there were people who helped. And there are also the people who are against it. That's for sure. But it's very important for her to show to the audience that in the end, all the viewers will see that he is capable. It's like, like in a way, because the gym owner, he symbolizes other people, but she wanted also the audience to understand that the capabilities of people on the spectrum, to make them think out of the box, and to make them say, you know what, maybe they can be someone, they can be presenters, they can have significant jobs, they can fulfill themselves. It's really, she's promoting Adit, but she's also promoting other kids on the spectrum. Because IT also symbolizes other people. He's not alone.
נועה, יש עוד נקודה. האם אידיאל היופי יכול להשתנות? האם אנחנו יכולים לראות על המסכים, נמשיך לראות על המסכים מודלים מושלמים, שאנחנו לא מכירים באמת את הסיפור שלהם? האם זה אפשרי בכלל להחליף אותם למישהו שהוא כמו שהוא, בלי פילטרים? ואם יש חברות אמיצות שירימו את זה, זאת הייתה התחלה כדי למסור את המסר הזה לעולם. האם יש חברות אמיצות באמת לשים אותו בפרונט?
Yes. Rada says that it was also important for her to challenge the concept of beauty, because in Western society, beauty is regarded, it's like beautiful people, perfect people, symmetric ones, functioning. But then again, so she thought, really, is that beautiful? Or speaking about inclusion, I mean, he's still beautiful on the outside. Just the fact that he has some difficult, does that make him less beautiful? So she really challenges what we conceive as beauty.
Yeah.
And that is also has to evolve, because if you have difficulties, that would mean that is less beautiful.
No, and I particularly agree with you on that, because the title "No Filter," you do not filter out his behaviors that other people would find inappropriate. You keep them in. When he is upset in the gym and he is pacing, you keep that in. You keep in also, which I greatly admire your courage and to challenge people's ability to see. You keep in when he has a tactile need to lick things, right? So you're not filtering him. You're saying, this is Adi. This is Adi.
And this is Adi, and no filters this is our journey. No filters, without filters. When you asked me why no filters, the name of the film, no filters is to see the true reaction of family and society, and to see this reaction, and איך אומרים נועה להתמודד?
To face.
and להתמודד ולהמשיך למרות הכל.
כן, to face the challenges and to overcome them, despite of all the obstacles in the way.
Yeah, which I greatly appreciate. One of the phrases that I find most ridiculous is when people will say somebody with a disability overcame their disabilities and they're successful. And you are showing Adi where his disability is integral to him. It's part of him. It's not like he's fixed all these things and now he's successful. No, he is a person with these disabilities. He is a person without language, spoken language, but he is communicating his feelings and he is successful at the same time. So I thank you for that very nuanced, very beautiful portrayal of your son and sharing it with the world.
Yes.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
נועה, רק תגידי שכולנו לא מושלמים, ואנחנו מפחדים מחוסר מושלמות שלנו. והמסר פה, חוסר המושלמות זה המיוחדות שלנו. פשוט להיות אמיתיים ללא מסיכות.
Rada very smartly said that we are all concerned by that we may be imperfect. It's like we all have things that we're not perfect at. And sometimes we try to hide them, sometimes we're not honest with ourselves, but Rada said that this is the time, it's like to face our imperfections and to see that this is what makes us unique. This is what makes us what we are. And so instead of trying to disregard them and discard them, it's like to accept them. It's like without mask, without filters. This is who we are. We're not perfect. Yeah. If we connect that to the beauty model, we're not, glamorous and we don't always look fabulous. But we are who we are with our imperfections and our challenges. Everything makes us who we are. And instead of hiding them, maybe accepting them will be more beneficial.
Yeah. Well, that would make the world a very different place, right? If we learn to incorporate all the parts of ourselves and have that as the expression of beauty. Wow.
Exactly, with no filters, yes.
With no filters. That's bravery. That's courage. And I think that is definitely what you've given to us in this gift of the film. Your great courage and your bravery as a filmmaker, as a mother. Just want to close by asking if you have anything planned for the future, for storytelling, for movie making.
I just wanted to add that Rada also talked about the advertising industry, that she also, because we are talking about beauty, so she was wondering if there might be any brands or commercial companies out there who might be brave enough, it's like to hire Adi as a model. Because if the idea of beauty is shifting, maybe they will be brave and bold enough to hire him as a presenter to show that even people on the spectrum, they can present things and that they are, inclusive in society, not just on paper, but also in the media. And especially in the advertising industry, we only see the perfect people. Maybe it's time to see the imperfect people.
Well,
no.
I will share that with you. I recently read an article about an agency that has created a niche and is promoting the use of models of all different abilities. So I can share that with you later.
Oh, please, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
well, I want to thank you very much for sharing this intimate portrait of your family. No filters. Rada Hen, the filmmaker and one of the main characters of the film, and Noah Kasharel, a great marketer of films and bringing Israeli cinema to us. I want to also thank our viewers. This is, as we said, our 25th anniversary of the Miami Jewish Film Festival, which is made possible by all of our sponsors, our members, our community partners, especially the Center for the Advancement of Jewish Education and the Greater Miami Jewish Film Festival, the Greater Miami Jewish Federation promoting the film festival, and to the artists who share their stories with us. I thank you very, very much. And I really will promote this film on our website, the Miami Jewish Abilities Alliance, and wish you the best of luck and joy as you share your story, no filter, with the world. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for the interview.